Hello and welcome to Talking WoW, the podcast where we talk about World of Warcraft, believe it or not. My name is Tom, and today we are going to be talking about the in-game event that was the Secrets of Azeroth. Or can we? I don't know. But to figure it out, I'm joined by my co-host, Marty. Hey, Marty. Are we allowed to talk about this?
No, it's a secret.
Okay, so nothing else planned. I think we're just going to have to push on anyway, Marty, despite that. So the Secrets of Azeroth was an in-game event which started in August and played out over a series of weeks. It involved a variety of daily clues and rewards that we had to figure out and actually come to a conclusion in the end of what was the Secret of Azeroth. But I think rolling it back a little bit, Marty, this event actually, when it was announced, it was almost like it wasn't announced, that it was just this event that appeared in the in-game calendar. And there was some achievements in your achievement log. But I remember thinking to myself, what the heck is this? Like, what's going on with this? So even in its like inception, it was a secret, wasn't it? Kind of.
I mean, I don't know, because it was so secret that I didn't know about it. How did I discover this? I think I was looking through the achievements and it had something to do with the time rifts. And then below those are the secret achievements. I was like, oh, but what is this? And because I thought, is that something, had that also something to do with the time rifts, or what was it? Something that I needed to figure out. And I realized that, oh, it's not. It's actually its own event. So that's how I discovered about, that this event existed. So I was like, yeah, I'm definitely, when it was finally time, I was like, yeah, I'm going to check this out. So that's how I discovered it, by pure accident, simple mistakes.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was, I guess it was intentional that they didn't really promote this too much. And I'm assuming it was included with one of the patches. It got put in there and it was laid dormant until they were ready to make it go live. But running alongside this as well, which actually I didn't realize until almost the end of the event. And when I say the end of the event, if for some reason, you're like, oh, I never got around to doing Secrets of Azeroth, that's still going to be in the game. So it unfolded over a series of weeks, but it stayed in the game afterwards, which I think is good, because for what it is, there's a lot there, and for that just to go away, I think that would be a real shame. But back to my point was that running alongside this, Marty, and I didn't realize until, like I say, it was near the end, was they had this social media almost campaign where they were posting actual clues to these satchels that were located inside the world, and people were like cracking these codes and finding out these locations as well. And it was actually like part of this event as well. And I don't know if you were like me and you didn't see like this going on, because maybe we don't use social media anymore, because who does that? It's for chumps.
I'm so happy that you decided to start with this part of the achievement, because this part of the achievement is something that I did not look into, I did not do, and I did not know exist. So thank you for bringing that up. I actually, again, because I was looking at the achievements and I was like, what is that community thing? But I was also sort of like, you know what, I'll probably figure it out while the event is running. But then when the event neared its end, I hadn't completed anything for this achievement. I was like, what is this? And then I actually went to good old Thoughtbot, Wowhead, and was like, what is this? How do I do this achievement? And that's when I realized that it was like community, so it was social media post, and that you needed to decipher. And I was like, oh, that is so cool. It's a shame that I didn't realize that earlier, because that could have been fun to participate in as well. But yeah. But then again, it's secret, so you need to figure this out by yourself. And I think it's cool.
How do you feel about that? Like stuff being included, like in social media, like outside of the game?
I think it's for this particular thing. I think it's fine. It's fun. It's something a little bit different. Obviously, if it's like something major story things that you need to figure out outside the game, that would not work for a game like World of Warcraft. I would not find that fun but for something like this, perfect. It's awesome.
Yeah, I think it does fit into that category quite well, because when you think about the Secrets of Azeroth, you think of, I'm instantly drawn back to, these secrets that have been in the game in the past, where you had like Discord communities working really hard to crack the codes, and it almost felt like it was a bit of a nod to those communities in itself, because you had this event that was in game, you also had this other branch on the side happening on social media, and then you had this like other secret that involved a series of tasks that eventually lead you to unlocking a mount. And that's usually how the secrets in Warcraft exist, don't they? It's this series of convoluted instructions and visiting locations and clicking on things, and eventually usually being rewarded with a mount. And it almost had all of that, and it also had a way for, I'd say, people like me. I'm not going to say people like you, Marty, but with the quests that were introduced into this, it started off with a bit of a tutorial of like, hey, go here, look for this item, give you a general direction of where you needed to be. And again, I think with one of the opening secrets was you were looking for like a Tuskar representative, weren't you, to identify a certain artifact. And that probably took you to a continent known as Northrend. And there was just some cool stuff to start off with this, where there was various like Tuskar encampments, but you could visit one of them, but it was the wrong one, but you could actually interact with them as well. They guided you. And the thing about this as well, Marty, was we were getting our bags full up, weren't we, with little clues and little notes, and having to read those and actually figure out where to go.
Yeah. Those notes, by the way, just a quick, side note, pun intended. I kept them all around until the end, just because, you never know if you need them for something. So I kept them all around until the very end, and you didn't need them for anything. And, this expansion is probably one of the few expansions that has just been filling your bags up with random freaking shit from the get-go. And I was also carrying around all these secret notes and stuff. So
I'm just imagining you back at your garrison with a whiteboard with all the notes pinned onto it, bits of string, and you're like, but what is the real secret?
What is it? Yeah, I should just have gone to social media and found out. But yeah, nope. The very first one was so much fun. And I think
the first one was fun. The rest were crap. No.
The first one was a good beginning, and I think it was at that point where I decided that I did not want to look stuff up, because I thought it was so much fun to figure out myself. Oh, I need to go to Northrend. I probably need to go to that camp, and then talking to someone who was like, no, you need to go even further out, and did that, and it even took me a little bit of a while to find, the proper place out there, but I did manage to do it, and I was like, oh, this is cool. I feel awesome for figuring this out. I want to do this like how it was intended, so without Wowhead.
Yeah, and I think when the clues for each day went live, you had this period of time where people didn't have it worked out yet, and the essence of this storyline was that you were trying to uncover who was behind a recent string of thefts of artifacts, and the discovery of like learning like this overarching picture as well. And like you say, you had this time where when the quest goes live and nobody knows how to solve it yet, but then throughout the day, usually on Wowhead, not Thoughtbot, you would be able to also find the solution for that. So it was a good balance of like people who were like, no, I don't want to think, I don't want to work this out. But then also, for example, you, less so me, because I was trying to get through it. At the start, I was like, yeah, I'm going to try and work this out, going to use my big brain. And then I left it for a few days, and I just had a lot to get through. And I was like, I don't know, I just want to work through this. And at times I would like hide the guide a little bit and try and work it out and make some progress. But for me, I would say that it was very reminiscent, I think, of a game called World of Warcraft Classic, where you had your quest log and you had vague directions to things. And I don't know if you got that sort of vibe as well. Did you?
And I think that was the second reason why I decided I didn't want to spoil myself by going to Wowhead and stuff like that, because it 100% gave me that old feeling of, oh, I need to figure this out from what's actually standing in the quest text. And there's no markers on the maps and stuff like that. So that was fun. I will say though, that I did have to look up one thing. Well, the thing is, I didn't have to, but I did, because it said like a location, and I looked at all the maps and I couldn't find that location. I was like, where is this? So I looked it up on Wowhead, just that location, and it said, oh, it's right here. And then I went back to my map, and right in the middle of the screen, there was a text on the actual map that said this, the name of the location, and I don't know, I just didn't see it. I didn't see the name in there, and I was just like, how did I miss that? So
we're just not used to like reading so many notes and looking at our map, because usually it's just, that highlighted area with the number in that you run to. And I think actually the fact that this came out and it was that extra, layers of just, you have to read this thing and you have to like figure out a location. I'm not saying retail Warcraft has made us a bit dumb, but it has sometimes made us a bit lazy in that fact that when we get a quest, it's just, we just go to that marker. And when that's not there, it's like, oh, what do I do?
We play hardcore together, and, in hardcore is, classic. So, and we're playing without add-ons, we're playing without any help. So when the quest says go kill these over there, we need to look at the actual, quest text. And it is a little bit weird when you're switching between the two games, because in one game, when you're in hardcore, you're like thinking and using a lot of, energy of figuring out where do I need to go, and go over there and check. Oh, it wasn't there. Then we run over here instead and just check, and we're exploring. But it's actually good fun. And then you get back to retail. It's just like, I don't even know what I need to do in this quest, but the quest marker told me to go over there, so therefore I am. And then you go over there, and there's some mobs that are highlighted, and then you're like, all right, I'll just kill them. It's such a big difference in how you're actually playing those two games. At least for how we do it without any quest help.
I like that throughout this series of quests as well, that you got various new items, and these actually became like part of your toy collection as well. Mm-hmm. And one of the first items that you get is this like thinking cap, and you put it on and you like reset it to your location, but you actually start getting coordinates that it was used heavily in the series of clues and puzzles after that. But I was just like, this is great. Like this could unlock so much more in the future as well. The fact that they have a way to give us coordinates to things. And I don't know, like, I don't know how you measure how successful an event is, but I think Secrets of Azeroth was something that was just very new and something that we hadn't really seen like as an event in game before. And I think people have always been in awe of, like we mentioned earlier, about the secrets that are put into the game. And now that this is actually like a proper event, like, do you think we're going to see more things like this? Do you think we're going to see, Secrets of Azeroth 2?
The sequel, more explosions,
more secrets.
More secret. I hope so. I definitely hope so. I want to quickly also just jump back to the coordinates thing, because it's such a simple thing that they did, but it's been in the game. Coordinates in the game has been there forever. It's not a new thing, but now they're being utilized for this, and it's just interesting to see that such a simple thing can actually be like a gameplay mechanic in game. But yeah, going forward, I want more of this, 100%. Yeah, I thought it was so much fun, just figuring it out, and yeah, no, I certainly hope so. And I mean, if you look at the other, don't want to say real secrets, but the big secret stuff that unlocks mounts and stuff like that. There has been a tendency throughout the last few patches to I think since when did they start doing this? Legion?
Yeah, I think it was around then.
Yeah. And it does seem like they've tried to put in something new in every expansion since. So I definitely hope that this could be like the beginning of something new, like just like a small event like this, part 2, would be very cool.
Yeah, and now that they have, for example, the thinking cap, or there was another toy in there as well called the Torch of Pyrith, which when you were holding that, it would sometimes plume up in a bit of a flame to sort of indicate something was around there that you need to take interest in. And I can totally see like them putting in now secrets into the game where these toys might help you interact with those. And it just makes me wonder if, the secret Discord community now, they're running around with their thinking caps on, their Torch of Pyriths out all the time, and they're just like scanning the world for any, interactions with these elements. But the fact that we have these toys now as a base, that potentially they could build on that as well.
They could build on it with what they already is in there, but they could also add new, toys, new gadgets to find these secrets.
Do you think because this expansion in particular, like we haven't had anything to do with like archaeology or anything like that there, do you think this could be like a new route that we take for like archaeology or something like that there? Because it does sort of feel a bit like that, doesn't it?
Oh, you just blew my mind. Jeez, I hadn't thought about that. That could be amazing. That could be awesome, I think. I don't know how a system like that would look like, and how, potential, tedious it could be in the long run if you need to level skills up and stuff like that. I don't know how a system would look like, but
what if it's not like your conventional profession of leveling, a bar from 0 to 100? It's just archaeology is now just, series of secret quest lines and things you have to discover in the world, and it's not really measured per se, but it's just more of an open-ended thing.
It could be cool. It could be something different, most definitely. I would personally, I think I would say yes to it. I think it's probably something that I probably would not, jump into and looking too much into at the beginning of an expansion, because there's so much other stuff I'd rather do at that point. But for those downtimes between, patches and, while we're waiting for the new expansion, stuff like that, for that time, I would most, if it's like fun like this, I would most definitely do it.
So, I don't know, I think like overall, and in recent times in Dragonfly, I think we've had some pretty solid events. For example, we've had the dragon riding events taking place in the old world, and now we've had something like Secrets of Azeroth, and it does feel like they're up in their game a little bit with these events that are taking place. And I know there's also that aspect where people feel like they're missing out if they're not taking part. I think Secrets of Azeroth handled it very well. Again, as we mentioned, that the fact that it's still in the game, and it will, I'm assuming, stay in the game for you to do at your leisure as well. So you're not feeling like you're missing out. But at the time, actually, it did feel good to participate that while it was current, and you have people, speculating and solving these clues as well. So am I of the impression, Marty, that, going forward, like this is, well, I mean, you've already kind of said it, but this is something you'd like to see more of? Do you like delving into your bag and looking through notes and reading like where you have to go, or do you think like they could have done something better or improve on this?
Good question. Improvements. I feel
more epic rewards.
Exactly. High best gear in the game. Absolutely. Only available once a year. No. I think a better way to show the coordinates and stuff, because having to hover over a buff is a little bit annoying. something I know that I think there's an add-on that does it. I'm not completely sure because I had a box pop up with those coordinates, but it's not live updating. It takes like a second for it to update. So it's not, it can be annoying as well. So basically what I'm just saying, I want a better way to show those coordinates. But besides that, I don't really know.
Well, I think like I don't use add-ons or anything, and the coordinates did show up for me like at the top of the screen. So
okay, if it's just the built-in one, it didn't live update. It was different. Those coordinates didn't change as quickly as the ones on the buff. So an update to that would be, so it actually is live, would be nice.
So yeah, that's what we thought about Secrets of Azeroth. But what did you think about Secrets of Azeroth? It's another event that's been included into the game. There's ways to boost your toy collection, but also get that satisfaction like Marty from going through all the clues and working it out yourself. But also on the flip side, people like me who didn't want to solve things, I think still got some enjoyment out of it. And yeah, I think I'm totally happy for Blizzard to do more creative things like this that's just a little bit different and offers a different perspective from what we're usually used to. And I think you can only really encourage that sort of creativity, and especially when it comes to video games and their secrets. I think that's always a mystery that's a good thing, because you just never know like how many secrets there actually are in any game. And well, this gives us a way to at least give your average player like me and maybe Marty a way to find out what exactly is hidden in Azeroth. You got anything else to say?
I mean, I think the only issue is now that, there won't be a new secret, because apparently there's a lot of people, us included, who can't keep a secret.
Well, there we go. We better end it there. I've been Tom. That's been Marty. And we've been talking WoW. But don't tell anyone.
Thanks for tuning in, champion. Did you enjoy this episode of Talking WoW? If so, why not drop a review on your podcast catcher of choice, or leave us a comment. You can find Talking WoW on Twitter or YouTube over at Talking WoW. Hope to see you again soon.